वनक्कम, मैं हैदर अली सैयद आसिफगम से United under Tamil Shape because everything starts with Tamil.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like anything, something more radical you found, or it's the same line of narrative?
Same actually. See, Sham, the God's is one, and God's way of life is one. And whenever there is what you say distortion in that book, then messengers are sent. So no prophet brought any new religion. And even in Bible also, when Jesus said, "Na, I have not come here to destroy the law and the prophet, but fulfill it." So, so whatever the rules and regulation which was there from ancient time, the same thing is continuation, and same thing is confirmed in Quran also that whatever you have to have faith in all books, all messengers, if you want to become a believer. So, so since we are all coming from a common ancestry, so who is Adam and his children? What was his language, what was the color, what was the reason for first murder. So these are the indication which the Bible and the Quran talks about. So we have to ponder and go back in history.
Yeah, correct. But you also say that the large number of documents were destroyed and so on, right? So that is also a problem, because if we don't know the actual content of the documents, it's not. It's very difficult to arrive at a certain conclusion. It will only be speculation. You see, like it could be, could not, like we go by probability only. But if you have some sort of evidences or kind of properly
See,
formatted writings, then it makes, yeah.
yeah, see, properly format. That's what Quran is given as a direction, and based on that Quran only, the first superpower, Persian Empire, collapsed. Na? Because as per the Daniel chapter 7, the first beast is the Persian. Na? After the fall of the Babylonian Empire, the first beast came in power, that is Persians. And the Persians, after that only, all the religious organization, anti-spiritual formulas came into existence, genocide of people started.
Yeah, but the first first kingdom is Babylonian, correct?
Yes, the first Babylonian Empire. Yeah, and before that, the Tamil people who had this colony system, and the problem with Hammurabi and Babylonian Empire is that they created the first cosmopolitan city where they merged all the colonies into one. And since Noah is the connecting point of all the people, so Marduk or Doha Morgan became the god of the Babylonia empire. And that time only some Caucasians also took active part in administration. So that was a turning point. Yeah. But even in the Bible also, most of the Hammurabi code, 230 codes which Hammurabi wrote, that some of the codes has been taken by God, and maybe the God has given those codes to Hammurabi. And Bible also contains the 10th commandment. It's a part of those code only, na?
Yeah, that is there is anthropological point of view, or
Yeah.
how do you, like, you see the first people and then the development of the society and so on. But religious text is not simply that, not a single point, way of looking at it, right? So there are alternate ways of looking at the same text. One is what you are saying, like there is already a group and they produced some writings, and then somebody copies and they make hi Raghu, it's been a long time. So
Yeah, hello
yeah,
Sam, how are you?
I'm good. I'm not very active on Clubhouse because I have like a lot of work. So, but time to time, I'm just coming and seeing. So, see, there are many ways you see. One is the philosophical way of looking at it. Another one is what you are saying, historical way of looking at it. And there's a psychological way of looking at it. There is also scientific way of looking at it. Uh, we can't come to a singular conclusion just based on singular analysis. And also historical analysis is a very has a high level of limitation because of the number of data that we have will be not only minimum but also when you excavate things from the past, the further you go in the past, the more difficult it is to assess the reason, why this happened. So I also have this difficulty when I read the Bible because in the Old Testament there is a high probability that the books were collected by a bunch of scribes in the let's say second millennium BC, somewhere in the end of the second millennium BC, 1200 to 900 BC. I don't think the biblical evidences go further than that, even though the storyline goes all the way to 4000 BC. But the text itself doesn't, by the grammar and the way it is collected. There are some areas where some scholars find that this is not the original writing, it is somebody else copying. On the way he copies, he puts his own lines time and again. So these are some works that are done. Quran is obviously is coming directly from the revelation of God, so there is no need to do a historical research on that. It is totally a categorically different religion. Um, so that's the limitation. So I don't know how you're concluding things based on fragments of such writings. Um, I don't know. That's just a skeptical point of view I have on this.
Yes, I agree with you. But see, when you read the Quran, and Quran doesn't say that it is the only book of Islam. It is talking about the Sirat al Mustaqim or the God guided part, which was given to first Siddha, means it's the starting point, and whoever follows that part will be successful. That's a statement in Quran. So, so the starting point, since we are all coming from a common ancestry, and Adam in Tamil means A stands for God, and Dam refers to breath. God given breath is the, and then as per the Bible, the Cain and Abel story and Set story. So, so Cain commits the first murder. We have two civilizations. If you look into archaeological site, where Europeans, they were barbaric people, and as per the Bible, they will be fugitive, restlessly wandering on the earth, and they are fugitive by nature. So, and we have a civilized society among the Tamil people. The first colony consisting of different department of work, and this is how the first colony was established. They were not hunter-gatherer compared to the bloodline of Cain. Now the problem is that after the coming of the Babylonian Empire, the collapse of the Babylonian Empire, which was a Tamil Empire, then the rise of the Caucasian Empire started. That is Persians, the four beasts which Daniel chapter 7 talks about: the Persian, the Maurya, and this Ottoman Empire, and this finally the devil from Najd, Saudi. So these are the four beastly regime which will prolong the greater Kali Yugam or anti-spiritual policies. And after every empire, you will find religious organization coming into existence, the Jewish syndicate, and everything is rotating around the trade, because the trade, whatever the information, arts and craft which the Tamil and the Pandyan and its pantheon had. They were the seafaring people, and they traded all over the world. You can check all the travel documents, trade documents, ancient trade documents, which is recorded. Pandyans were the seafaring people, and they had the trading posts all over the world. After the fall of the Babylonian Empire, then the Jewish syndicate, the Caucasian Jewish syndicate, consisting of Banya and the Brahmins, the trading community and the priestly class, they with the help of the Marakayas or the children of Israel. That's why they also became scattered nation. Na? As per the Bible, though they are from the bloodline of Ibrahim, but they got scattered nation because they served the Persians. So whoever
Now,
betrayed the
do you have
Pandyans and
evidence for this? No, my question is, do you have any evidence for this Pandyan travel documents predating
yes,
Babylonian
yes,
Empire?
Greek documents is
Okay,
there. Everything is documented. Yeah.
yeah, okay.
See,
So Haider,
yes, yes,
yeah,
yes.
Haider, I just posted a link. It says Paravars. These Paravars are Bharatavars. They are the original Pandyans who lived in Sri Lanka and southern Tamil Nadu. They established ancient ports and traded. So just post that link on that room on top of this. Room, yeah. Just look into that, and the India is named Bharat or Bharatvarsh, right? As the North Indians do call after Pandyans only. So this is the actual meaning of Bharat or Bharatavar, which comes from the Paravar community named Paravars. This Paravar is not the right pronunciation. I don't know the right pronunciation, but it's definitely ancient Tamil, right? They talk about all the trading posts of southern Tamil Nadu. So they reached up to definitely they were in Israel. Literally they were in Israel. They are mentioned in Bible. So in Bible they are called Parvaim. I don't know the pronunciation again. It's they're called Parvaim or something like that. Just look into that Wikipedia article if that's helpful to you. Anyway, coming back to the point, no, the I found some links either, but at the same time, yeah, the descendants of Solomon. I researched a little bit on that. Descendants of Solomon still live in Ethiopia. They're quite dark people. Not quite dark. They're literally dark people. Like the ancient. Ancient Ethiopians, kind of Oman. So I don't know, but they are still there living. Similarly, the ancient Pandyans are also still living in Tamil Nadu even today. If you see these people, their traditions actually predate the religions of Christianity or Judaism or anything like that. That means they have this culture, but those prophets may have reiterated their own culture from getting degraded or from decay. So that's what I think. But at the same time, there is no, we cannot establish, yes, this is the thing. Yes, especially from the time of Noah, right? Till time of Noah, you can make out clearly maybe Tamil is the oldest language, because even the Bible says there was only one language till the time of Noah. After that, there was confusion in the languages. This happened somewhere in Iran. Definitely all the Nostratic languages, that's like hypothetical mother language of all the world languages, happened somewhere in Caucasus region. So till then,
Chaos.
Tamil,
Tamil
yeah,
can't be
yeah.
the oldest language because the Tamil people aren't the oldest people.
Yeah, truth. I'll come to you. Yeah, geese. Let's keep the geese thing for a while, because even geese is a very close contender. I know for sure. Okay, if you are African, I'm sorry. Even I am okay with accepting geese theory also. Geese. It is not theory. It has even more. Footage than Tamil, but literature-wise, Tamil has more dominance, because Tamil records are very vast. So a lot of evidences point to Tamil origins as well. So anyway, I don't know much about Geese language origins. People coming out of Ethiopia, Eritrea, and so on. That is also very likely. But at the same time, what I am pointing to here is, till the time of Noah, there was only one language, right? And after Noah, many languages diverged. This happened probably due to mixing of different ethnicities close to that region in Mesopotamia, right? Afterwards. So after then, whatever Hyder Ali's story seems not so true to me. Like Pandyans then came from Iran all the way up to Tamil Nadu, which is somewhat controversial. Who was living in India then Hyder Ali? Except this point, everything else seems quite okay. But still, we can't give 100% evidence to all of this.
No, I have a question. Do you have a suggestion on somebody who has done a thorough study on this and put a book, something on a popular note, where a layman can actually understand, like for dummies to just have an idea of what you guys arrive at, because when you are talking about on a spectrum which involves the multi-religious and multicultural and also different anthropological culmination, or bringing back the original, that would be, it's too much to study in a brief period of time. So there could be some good books that you have come across that would really help, because it's too difficult to go through multicultural documents, because there's only who is in a professional firm would be able to do this. And for as far as Christian theologians are concerned, the it's like an iceberg. We are going downways into the field in more domain. So everybody picks up a domain, and it's very hard to put all these in a same um, backdrop. That's what I think you are able to connect behind the screen, right? So it's very hard, because usually when we read philosophy and theology, it's narrated. It's like there's a scholar who writes, and he tries to put these things together, and then the student understands. So is there something like that in this Asivagam, or is it a primitive study that you're doing, like a nascent field that needs more audience to attract?
Sam, actually, this Asivagam is an old tradition way of life, and you can find this concept of Asivagam in all the holy books. And the basic theme is all about ancestral get together and sacrifice of animal. And this concept you will find all over in every tradition way of life, whether it be China, Africa, or India. So ancestral get together and sacrifice of animal is a part of ancient culture, and even this Mecca. Mecca is actually because after Prophet Muhammad, this Mecca was once again outsiders were not allowed, and it was again became as a ancestral get together and sacrifice of animal for particular family, not for Muslims. Muslims, religion-wise, if you are trying to see the holy books, you will not get anything, because when you see Bible, it basically talking about two bloodline history. One is Seth bloodline history, and other is the family of Ibrahim history. So now the problem comes when we try to give this holy book, Torah, Gospel, and Quran, to the bloodline of Cain. And this Cain people, as you know very well, that they are fugitives. They are the first Antichrist. Coming of Antichrist means these Caucasians will come and settle in the Iranian plateau among the civilized society. So coming of Antichrist, and so basically, like the war is between the two people. One is Seth bloodline, one is Cain bloodline. And the Ibrahim family, they betrayed the Seth bloodline, so that's why they also became the scattered nation. So the story rotates around these three groups.
That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. What you're reading purely on the historical.
Yeah, he's basing his thing
That's-
purely on religious texts that are unproven. So it's not an academic discussion, it's a theological religious discussion under the guise of academics.
Truth, there is no religion, there's only one way of life. God is one and God way of life, and history starts with common ancestry. So if you can tell me what is that common ancestry, who was Adam, what was his color, what was his language, was Adam a hunter-gatherer, or was he his children were living in a organized society?
But he didn't exist, and you're assuming everyone is monotheistic or that everyone believes in a deity. So your argument works for people that have your foundation, monotheism, Abrahamic faiths, etc. But more than half
I'm not
the
talking
world
about
probably...
Abrahamic faith.
You did, because you said one God. You mentioned one God specifically, and I'm telling you, many cultures, ancient cultures, didn't believe in one God. The Romans, the Greeks, the Egyptians. So if you're referring to ancient cultures but talking about one God, you're contradicting yourself. Only Akhenaten believed in one God when he changed the center of Egypt. Most of the cultures didn't, and not all sacrificed animals either. So I think you're conflating various
They are
narratives.
mixing supreme god with small god. Small gods are basically every ancestors have their own what you say ancestral get together. In our culture, we have this concept of ancestral get together, and those ancestors are not god. They are within us, and we can get connected to them. That's our belief,
Oh,
and
you're
that's
talking
that's
about the pantheon. See, the
yeah,
pantheon would be considered, for example, if one of us in the room is considered the deity, the god, everyone else is a lower god. But usually, when people say one god or believe in a god, they're talking monotheism. For example, many religious groups don't believe there are other gods. They think there's only one, Allah, or some people think it's only Jehovah, right? So when we look at it and apply a universal spiritual religious rule, it doesn't work. We have to be more specific and say, well, you know what? In Islam, Sunni, they believe X. In Jehovah's Witnesses, they believe Y. And they all don't agree on everything, which is why the belief that there is one deity doesn't seem to be tenable in the logical world, but it does work in the literary poetry fantasy world, but not in the world of I think the realm of
see,
reality.
actually, Tarut, I don't see from the religious angle, whether you call your Shia, Sunni, Sufi, Wahhabi, or Jehovah Witness, or Christianity, or Judaism, or any cult. I just see whether you are speaking the truth or you are speaking the lie, truth and falsehood. So based on that, I see dharam and adharam, not based on religion.
Yeah, see, either that's the point. Either the thing is, you see, there are different schools of thought. One may have a historical idea of truth, right? I am a person who have put in a lot of thoughts in this, and I also go in the depth of epistemology. I also understand that it could be a grand delusion to even believe in a material world. You should not consider it as a delusion, because it is still a very tough question what the Germans were trying to understand in the 1800s. Like what it is to express existence. So these are deep philosophical dilemma. So for a man coming from that place to see basing all the things just on historical development will be quite odd, will be difficult. And if you talk to a scientist, he would completely disagree with this. He would put a universal tag on everything and take it as a collective psychology, how man thinks and how our psyche behaves and so on. If you talk to a neuroscientist, he will give a entirely a narrative of the present. He doesn't care about how many years mankind existed. He knows exactly how the brain will function on. If you give him a proper parameters and measurements and data, he will predict how the brain will function. So the different ways of looking at the same reality. So now when you put the historical weight alone to be the primary mode of truth, there we have a problem, because you have to take into consideration all the other ways of looking at the same thing. Of course, historical knowledge is primary. I don't disagree with you. We should know our past in order to create the framework of truth. Absolutely, there's no doubt about it. But the limitations of historical method is very high compared to the scientific method, because historical method you have limited data first of all. Second of all, the truth claim is very hard to justify what the author meant to write and what we read from the text. There is a lot of gap in this, and also language.
Yeah.
The language that
Yeah.
they used are very complex, probably. So this is
Translation.
the. I'm not pessimistic, but I'm just telling you that these are subjects that will take long time to conclude, and to arrive at an immediate conclusion, I think it's not a good idea.
Yeah, and
Yeah, that's I
oh,
agree.
sorry, Bert, go on.
Yeah, Sam, I agree with you. But the question is that who is the loser? See, the fugitive, they know only one thing, that is to loot. But who is getting looted? And if you see from the angle of from that angle, people who got looted, means my house is getting looted. So I should, if I cry, people are not listening to us. So the history, why we Indian people got looted by different invaders? Because the story, if you look into the Indian history, the Pandyan history, the Chola, the Chera, and all the North Indians history, what you get? We have been invaded from centuries by outsiders. Why we were invaded?
Yes, correct.
Yeah. So
Yeah, this is
when we are
again.
getting looted, so when
Yes,
we
I
are getting
agree. I
looted,
understand your point of view, but I'm just telling you that if you ask me my opinion, I have no choice but to try to understand how people behaved and how the collective mind worked, why the psyche of the people of that time wanted to exploit and abuse. That would be my way of investigation.
Yeah,
yeah. So
listen, as a non-Indian, I am more of a Caribbean, Indian, African American, etc. Your culture and region is, first of all, beautiful. It's large. You have the Ganges River. You have some inventions and some beautiful aspects and some treasures that other groups wanted, right? So the Tamil and some of your other original groups prior to the Aryans, India was one of the gems that people wanted, some people that could travel wanted to go to. They also wanted to go to China, and some wanted to go to what they thought, much later, of course, would be the New World. So why India? Because India is a beautiful place. To this day, not just the physical beauty, but the way you all talk, the way you move. Like some regions of the world, it just stands out. India does, much of Africa does, you know. So I don't think you all did anything wrong to have psychopaths come and take advantage. And it doesn't mean that I then think it's a curse or it's a religious thing. I just think it's a human psychopathic, selfish thing that they did. Well, look at what the Japanese did to China. They did it over and over. Big China abused by little Japan. Well, little Iran came into big India and took over and put themselves as the Brahmin. And so, you know, it's a part ignorance, part selfishness, and that's something we as humanity, Homo sapiens, have to fix.
yeah, truth. Because we Indians, as per whatever the information is there, because as per the Quran, the first batch of the children of Adam, they were divided into different department of work, and that's why it's still in India. We identify as per our caste and gotram. I mean, the tribe, the profession. So because of this profession, we were highly advanced. We were living in a highly advanced civilization, and that's why especially the fugitive who came later from the bloodline of Cain, they came and they looted this land for many years. So and still they are looting. And all the biblical prophecies regarding the four beastly regime, it is a warning for Tamil people, not for other nation, because God has not given anything to other nation compared to how what was given to India. So India is that's why the story of the earth rotates around the India. Columbus wanted to reach India. Vasco da Gama wanted to reach India to do what? To do trade. And when you look at the trading from the trading angle, all the trading routes, trading post is totally is connected with India. So to get that trade, this Jewish syndicate came after the fall of the Babylonian Empire only. No? Babylonian Empire is a Tamil empire, and after the fall of the Babylonian Empire, we saw the rise of the first beastly regime, the Persians. So after that, all those religious organizations came into existence, and they wrote lots of philosophies. Every invaders, they genocide the tribal people, and they started a religion like how Maurya Empire. They genocide millions of black melanated people of Kalinga, and they started Buddhism. And then so this is how the after every empire religious organization was started. So those philosophy are man-made philosophy mixed with some truth. So that some truth has to be removed from that holy books, whether it be Bible or other previous scriptures. Everything contains some information which God has given certain people something. So the story rotates around India only. Yeah. Thank you.